Okay. Patch 11.12 notes. Apparently not a big patch compared to next patch, and I've seen some of the. I've been spoiled. I've seen some patch spoilers, but I'm gonna go through them because there's actually some pretty awesome nerfs here. I'm happy with some of these nerfs at least. Hopefully, will allow us to play different champs in AD carry and top lane. Also, next patch is gonna be nuts. Next patch is going to be nuts. There is gonna be like the entire meta is changing. So I'm not gonna spoil those changes for you if you haven't seen them, but it's pretty epic. Cool. So Mr. Mondo is coming out this patch. His rework looks actually a lot less crazy than I think. I thought they were gonna go for like a completely different, like a lot of his abilities are actually the same or like close to the same. But his corporate Mundo skin is probably the best skin in the game in my opinion now. Actually, I don't know. That's got nothing to do with gameplay, but his corporate Mundo skin legitimately one of the funniest skins in the game now. So they're like straight buffing Aphelios in a variety of different ways. It's just a straight buff. They're giving him extra MR and they're giving him extra AD growth. I mean, the MR and AD growth is like whatever. I don't think it's going to change that much, but they're giving his Q less healing from basic attacks, but more healing from abilities. And his on-hit damage is also going up. So, I mean, I think this is if this is healing from abilities when like you activate your Q, I think that counts as an ability when you're like spinning around and autoing really fast. I don't know if that counts as an ability. I feel like this should be a buff if I'm reading this right, but I'll see. There's a lot of people who want to play Aphelios, but he needs Thresh right now. I think Aphelios, Thresh, or Aphelios Lulu are the only two supports you could reliably pick Aphelios with. And that means you have to ask your support to play those champs, and you have to play those champs kind of well. Like if you play Aphelios badly, you're going to get caught, you're going to die, you're going to be useless. So, I don't know. We'll see. We will see. We will see. We will see. Mini Chakram damage is also being changed. Wait, am I reading this right? Is that a nerf? They're okay. They're shifting power from his W, not his W, his white gun to his red gun a little bit. Okay. It's an Aphelios buff. Could use a helping hand. They're buffing base stats and weapon combinations when pulling power. Okay, so they're nerfing white gun because basically when Aphelios didn't have white gun, what it did feel like was whenever I saw an Aphelios with white gun, I was like, okay, well we can't fight this guy. But then when Aphelios had other guns, he was like half the champ he was. But I mean, I just didn't read it correctly. I thought this was going to be a buff, and I was a little bit scared. But Aphelios' problem is not his stats, in my opinion. It's just the champion kit really struggles if he doesn't have support that can help him, like Janna, Thresh, Lulu. I mean, it's mainly Thresh Lulu, so yeah, we'll see. I still think if he turns into an OP monster, maybe, but I don't think he's going to be picked like crazy unless you're with a good Janna or a good Lulu. Good Lulu or a good Thresh. Aphelios no longer only has better base MR than Yuumi. Elmao, really? Wow, I didn't know that. That's an interesting stat. Draven Q has been buffed. Cool, awesome. Draven's mythic item choices and rune choices are not great, so he's not in the best spot. But Draven one tricks are Draven one tricks, and they're all like medically diagnosed crazy people, so they'll still play him regardless. But I mean, this should help Draven one tricks. So good luck, have fun, enjoy tilting in solo queue. They have nerfed Gnar's attack damage by 2. This isn't the big nerf. Gnar is still probably going to be played in this patch. It's next patch is where the big boy nerfs are coming. So cool, I guess. It's probably one more patch of a lot of Gnar top lane, I guess. Hecarim, they're buffing. They're buffing his Q and his armor, so I actually think you could play him. I think you can play him on this patch. He's just not like top tier. So cool. He's gonna clear a little faster. He's gonna do a little damage. Maybe this will encourage people to pick him up again, because after he got literally axed, nobody wanted to play him. And I think these are kind of like placebo buffs to be like, hey, he's not that trash anymore. We buffed him twice in a row, you know what I mean? So Illaoi, cool. Then sometimes I forget this champ exists, but mana growth, awesome. She has more mana. Cool. Does that change much of her difficulty carrying games? No, but she's a niche champ, so cool, I guess. More mana. It's probably helpful for Illaoi one tricks or Illaoi mains. They're probably happy. Jarvan's W has reduced cooldown now. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I've seen some Jarvans. I've seen some people play Jarvan. I think Jarvan's a pretty okay champ, so it's kind of an interesting buff. he clears very slowly after his first clear. He really struggles to keep up in farm. So I would only pick Jarvan if I know for a fact I can snowball. Because if you don't snowball, yeah, this champ feels pretty bad if you don't snowball. Or if like you just become very, very kind of, you just become a CC bot, and the enemy jungler usually starts to like invade you like crazy. This is probably the biggest nerf on the patch, in my opinion. Kai'Sa has been nerfed. Her Q cooldown has been nerfed. It's not even that big a nerf, but I think this is a rather large nerf to her early laning phase. 2 seconds on her Q means she can't push waves as early, she can't take as many trades. She's going to give up a lot of lane pressure in between her Qs. That's it. It's just cool. Awesome. This champ is perma played. Like right now, it's just constantly played. One thing I wish they had nerfed instead of this is maybe her burst damage when she hits W, but that's kind of like a core concept of the character, so I don't think people would enjoy that if that was nerfed. But she has like pretty disgusting burst damage. Also Ezreal, they're not nerfing Ezreal, which I'm like crying my eyes out over because Ezreal's busted as hell in this patch. But yo, next patch maybe? Next patch? Riot? Next patch? Maybe nerf Divine Sunderer? I know you like selling Ezreal skins, but please? Thanks. Alright, Malphite. Mr. Malphite. They're buffing Thunderclap, so the Malphite can clap ass cheeks harder. 5 extra damage and 5% extra armor. That is a decent amount of damage on his, because he stacks a ridiculous amount of armor, so I'm assuming it's going to be like close to 20 to 50 damage as you start scaling up, which is like pretty okay. It's like decent. Cool. I guess he struggles a little bit in some matchups, but you don't pick Malphite in every matchup, right? Why the hell would you do that? Kind of a psycho move. You just play Malphite into like full AD comps and stuff like that. So cool. I mean, yeah, extra damage for him. Awesome. AD carry is going to be kind of sad when they get one shot by his Thunderclap. I didn't even know it's called that. Rammus. They are buffing Rammus. They're buffing his W base armor. Cool. And they're also reducing the cooldown of his R. I have genuinely not seen enough Rammus to give a nuanced opinion about him. But if he continues to get buffs, there's a point where he becomes so annoyingly tanky that he's actually very good as a champion. But right now, he just gets out cleared. Like he just gets straight up out jungled and out cleared and out paced as the game goes on. And it's super hard. Like you need to keep finding ganks, like repeatedly keep finding ganks. So like, yeah. I mean, he's not like tanky enough to justify the fact that he can't clear jungle anymore after like the first few clears. Nasus. So they're decreasing lifesteal. Like, bro, I barely, like, I don't think I've ever seen this champ in my games in Halo, like literally ever. But cool, I guess. I mean, apparently he's a problem. But they're talking about average play, so like, what do I know? What do I know? I'm decidedly not average. Haha. Yeah, I have no comment about the Nasus buff. I mean, sorry, nerf. You know, dogs gonna be dogs. Dog eat dog world. It's a dog eat dog nerf. Renekton. They are nerfing Renekton finally. God bless. Finally. So another, I actually, you know, maybe I rescind my previous statement. This one is also a rather large nerf, so it could be a bigger nerf than the Kai'Sa nerf, because once you're level 5 Q on Kai'Sa, it's the same cooldown. But Renekton, it's just a straight up healing decrease, all across the board, even as he scales. So maybe that's actually like a bigger nerf than Kai'Sa. Like Renekton's scaling healing in team fights was quite nuts, and they're just straight up nerfing it, which is like awesome because Renekton's been top lane beast for a very, very long time. Hell, he's even been a mid lane beast, but I'm glad they're finally cutting that down a bit. Talon, they are nerfing Talon's rake damage. Cool. I see a lot of Talon in Halo actually. Like he's a popular champ, and he also has a big problem with like when he snowballs, he literally just 1 versus 5s. He's so obnoxious when he's ahead. But I mean, like that's kind of the fun of the champ. You know what I mean? Like that all that champion does is damage. So I think if this nerf doesn't do a lot, that I mean it looks like a nerf, but they're buffing the return damage, right? They're buffing the return damage, but the return damage is a lot harder to hit, like significantly harder to hit than the first wave of the blade. So I mean, like, cool, I guess. Maybe I'll see less Talon, and Talon is super strong if you play him really well. Like if you play him well mid lane, you can just 1 versus 5 this 1 versus 5 a game. All right, Udyr, straight up looks like a straight up nerf to Udyr. I was gonna say buff, but I read the numbers and I was like, it's a nerf. And then I read this and I was like, wait a minute, what? But it's an AP scaling, and Udyr doesn't generally want to build a lot of AP, so I don't think it's gonna be a. This is big. This is a big numbers nerf. You know, 10 damage level 1. I don't think he levels Phoenix stance. Well, actually, no, he does put points into Phoenix stance. So, I mean, this does hurt him a fair amount. I don't think he builds enough AP to make up for it. There's just decrease in damage. Cool. Awesome. Udyr's been around for a very long time as well. Quite a few patches, so... they nerfed Varus. Poke Varus is kind of strong. It's also going to be, like, if you guys have been watching pro play, Poke Varus is quite a useful pick. Quite like an important pick, and it's just really flexible. Like, it can do a bunch of different things, so... I'm happy about this nerf. It's really, really crazy how much damage Varus can do when he activates his W. Like, he straight pops tanks. With like 1 Q, he can like 50% HP to 0, just pop a tank. It's crazy. Wukong, we got another nerf. I don't think Wukong was broken, but I mean, I guess their data was saying that he was kind of strong. I don't know what elo they were basing that on, but in my experience, Wukong struggles to do anything after like mid game. I think it feels like he drops off very, very quickly as a champ, but that's just my take. I feel like he has a big spike in mid game where he like hits his item and then, or like a 2 item spike, and then he just like straight down. But I have seen, you know, some people complain about Wukong in their games in average elo. Maybe that's what they're going for. But they're just nerfing his damage and his attack damage growth, which kind of sucks. Monkey is sad, I guess. Pepe hands for him. Ziggs. They are like just buffing Ziggs, I guess. Awesome. I've seen a lot of people trying to suggest Ziggs support and Ziggs... Sorry, there was some criminal activity outside. But anyway, yeah, the police were coming for my patch notes rundown. So Ziggs, they're just buffing Ziggs. I've actually seen some people playing Ziggs support. I've seen some people playing Ziggs AD carry. I've not seen Ziggs mid, but maybe this will encourage some people to try him out in the matchups he's good and actually pull him out again, because this is a nice buff to his R. 20, not R, Q. 20 extra damage on Q. That's kind of juicy. That actually might allow him to one-shot the backline creeps at a certain item points, and that was actually a big deal on Ziggs, which was if you had to use Q plus E to one-shot certain amounts of waves, it was kind of annoying. Like sometimes at a certain breakpoints, you couldn't Q the wave and then E the wave and kill it the entire thing. The melee creeps would survive with a little bit of HP, and it was really annoying getting all the CS. And that in higher elos, that actually makes a big difference. If you have to use an extra spell to wave clear, obviously it's a waste of your time, right? So, you know, stuff like that. And then the missile speed, I have not, like, this looks insane. I don't know if you guys can read this. It says 1550 missile speed was the original, and now it's 2250. To me, that's like ridiculous. That sounds like such a massive, that's like 700. Like, is it gonna be like the Riven change but reversed, where they nerfed Riven's R missile speed? Because this feels like it's gonna be really fast. Like really, really fast. But I don't know. I don't know. I'll reserve my judgment. Maybe I'll see some Ziggs running around blowing people up from halfway across the map and they can't flash. That would be funny. It's impossible to hit R from afar right now. Yeah, but the max range Rs, I personally think the max range Rs were generally reserved for wave clear. Like, you're not supposed to be, like, or unless your teammates could CC. Like, if you can hit someone with a max range ultimate, like Mega Inferno Bomb, consistently, that ult is too strong. You know what I mean? Like, it should be like, okay, one of my teammates has to set me up for this R, or I use it for wave clear, or I try and, like, outplay and predict them. Like, I don't know. It just seems really, really fast now, but we'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. And then cool. And now it's just bug fixes and skins. Poggy Woggy. And we're done. So appreciate all of the chat, and I hope you enjoyed the patch notes rundown. And if you're watching on YouTube, come follow me on Twitch. And you guys on Twitch, go follow me on YouTube. But it's not called follow. It's called subscribe. But it's free. So do that. But yeah, cool.